There was a time when one company ruled the mobile phone industry like no other. Nokia. Before smartphones, before apps, and before touchscreens, Nokia was everywhere. Millions of people trusted the brand because its phones were simple, reliable, and almost impossible to break. But here's the mystery. How did the world's biggest phone company lose everything? To understand the fall, we first have to understand the empire. Surprisingly, Nokia wasn't founded as a technology company. In 1865, it began as a small paper mill in Finland. Over the years, it expanded into rubber, cables, and electronics, before finally entering the mobile phone business. By the 1990s, Nokia had one clear mission: build phones that anyone could use. No complicated features, no confusing software, just dependable devices that worked every single day. The strategy was a massive success. Soon, Nokia phones were in schools, offices, homes, and even remote villages. Owning a Nokia became completely normal because almost everyone had one. Then came the legendary Nokia 3310. It became famous around the world for its incredible durability. People joked that the phone could survive almost anything. Whether the stories were true or not didn't matter. The message was clear: Nokia had earned people's trust. And then there was Snake. A simple game with black pixels became one of the most iconic mobile games ever created. Millions of people spent hours chasing high scores, turning Nokia phones into more than just communication devices. They became part of everyday life. By the early 2000s, Nokia stood at the top of the industry. In some years, the company controlled around 40% of the global mobile phone market, making it the undisputed king. Billions of dollars flowed into the business, factories ran day and night, and competitors struggled to catch up. Inside Nokia, confidence was higher than ever. Many executives believed their position was unshakable. After all, who could possibly challenge a company this powerful? But history has taught us one lesson over and over again. The biggest companies rarely fall because they're weak. They fall because they believe they're unbeatable. While Nokia celebrated its success, thousands of miles away in California, a small team was quietly building a phone with no physical keyboard. Most people laughed at the idea. Even Nokia dismissed it. That decision would change the mobile industry forever. To be continued. Chapter 2: The Mistake That Changed Everything. By the early 2000s, Nokia was on top of the world. It sold hundreds of millions of phones, dominated global markets, and earned billions in profit. From the outside, everything looked perfect. But inside the company, a dangerous problem was growing. Success had made Nokia comfortable. Its executives believed they already understood what customers wanted. They thought people would always prefer physical keyboards, long battery life, and durable phones. Then, in 2007, everything changed. A company called Apple introduced the first iPhone. At first glance, it didn't seem impressive. It had no physical keyboard. It was expensive. Its battery wasn't great. Many experts believed it would fail. Even inside Nokia, some executives dismissed it as a product for a small group of users, not the future of mobile phones. That was their biggest mistake. Apple wasn't trying to build a better phone. It was building a pocket computer, a device where software, apps, and touch controls would become more important than buttons. While Apple focused on the future, Nokia stayed focused on the present. The company continued investing heavily in Symbian, its aging operating system. But Symbian had become slow, complicated, and difficult for developers to build apps for. Inside Nokia, engineers knew changes were needed, but making decisions had become painfully slow. Different teams disagreed with each other. Managers protected their own projects instead of working toward one clear vision. Innovation was replaced by meetings. Speed was replaced by bureaucracy. Every month Nokia delayed, Apple kept improving. Customers slowly noticed the difference. The iPhone felt modern, Nokia's software felt old. For the first time in years, people weren't asking, which Nokia should I buy? They were asking, should I buy an iPhone instead? The warning signs were everywhere. But Nokia still believed its market dominance would protect it. It had survived every competitor before. Why would this one be any different? What the company failed to realize was that the mobile industry was no longer about making better phones. It was becoming a battle of software, apps, and ecosystems. And Nokia was already falling behind, even worse. Another threat was quietly entering the market, a free operating system that any phone company could use. Its name was Android, and it was about to change everything. To be continued. Chapter 3. The rise of Android. Apple had shocked the world with the iPhone. But Nokia still believed it had time. The company thought the iPhone was a premium product that only a small group of people could afford. With millions of loyal customers and the largest market share in the world, Nokia believed its position was still safe. It was wrong. While everyone focused on Apple, another giant was quietly preparing for war. Its name was Android. Unlike Apple, Android wasn't building its own phones. Instead, it offered its operating system to manufacturers around the world. Companies like Samsung, HTC, LG, and many others could now build powerful smartphones without creating their own software from scratch. It was a game-changing strategy. Suddenly, dozens of companies were improving Android together. Every year, Android became faster, smarter, and more useful. Meanwhile, Nokia was still struggling with Symbian. The software felt outdated. Developers preferred building apps for iPhone and Android because it was easier, faster, and reached more users. Without great apps, customers slowly began to lose interest in Nokia devices. Then came the decision that would define Nokia's future. Instead of adopting Android like many expected, Nokia rejected it. Company leaders believed they could still compete using their own software. They wanted to stay in control instead of joining Google's growing ecosystem. It was a huge gamble. While Samsung embraced Android and quickly became the world's fastest-growing smartphone company, Nokia continued losing customers month after month. The numbers told a painful story. Sales began to fall. Market share shrank. Consumer confidence faded. For the first time in years, Nokia was no longer leading the industry. It was chasing it. The company that once set the standard for mobile phones was now struggling to keep up with competitors that had once looked insignificant. Time was running out. Nokia needed a bold move. One decision, one partnership, one final chance to survive. That decision would lead the company into the biggest gamble in its history, a deal with Microsoft. To be continued. Chapter 4. The Microsoft Gamble. By 2010, Nokia was no longer the king of mobile phones. Every quarter, its market share continued to fall, while Apple and Samsung dominated the smartphone revolution. The company knew it couldn't keep relying on Symbian. It needed a fresh start. In 2011, Nokia made one of the most controversial decisions in tech history. Instead of choosing Android, it partnered with Microsoft. The plan sounded promising. Microsoft would provide the Windows Phone operating system, while Nokia would build beautiful high-quality smartphones. Together, they hoped to create a third ecosystem that could compete with Apple and Android. Many believed this partnership could save Nokia. At first, the Lumia phones impressed reviewers. They had premium designs, excellent cameras, and smooth performance. Some even called them the best-looking smartphones on the market. But there was one problem. People don't buy smartphones for hardware alone. They buy them for the apps. While Android and the iPhone offered millions of apps, Windows Phone had only a small fraction of them. Popular apps often arrived months late. Tor never arrived at all. Customers noticed. They walked into stores, admired the Lumia phones, and then asked a simple question: can I get all my favorite apps? Too often, the answer was no. Without a strong app ecosystem, even great hardware couldn't win. Developers also had little reason to support Windows Phone. Most focused on Android and iPhone, where the users already were. It became a vicious cycle. Fewer users meant fewer apps. Fewer apps meant fewer users. Meanwhile, Samsung was selling millions of Android phones every month, and Apple continued breaking sales records with each new iPhone. Nokia was running out of time. The company had made a bold bet, but it had backed the wrong platform. The once unstoppable giant was now fighting for survival. Soon, the losses became impossible to ignore. And one final decision would bring an end to Nokia's era as the world's biggest phone company. Microsoft decided to buy Nokia's mobile business. What looked like a rescue would soon become the final chapter of Nokia's incredible rise and heartbreaking fall. To be continued. Chapter 5: The Fall of a Giant. In 2013, the unthinkable happened. Microsoft announced it was buying Nokia's mobile phone business for billions of dollars. For many people, it sounded like a rescue, but in reality, it marked the end of an era. The company that had once ruled the mobile phone industry was no longer in control of its own future. Thousands of employees lost their jobs. Factories that had once operated day and night became silent. The Nokia logo, once a symbol of innovation and reliability, slowly disappeared from store shelves. But Microsoft's plan didn't go as expected. Windows Phone failed to attract enough users. Developers continued focusing on Android and iPhone, leaving Microsoft's App Store far behind. Even with Nokia's excellent hardware, customers chose phones that offered a larger ecosystem and better software support. Just a few years later, Microsoft admitted defeat. It wrote off billions of dollars, laid off thousands more employees, and eventually shut down its smartphone business. The company that bought Nokia to compete with Apple and Samsung had failed as well. But here's the biggest lesson. Nokia didn't collapse because it lacked talent. It didn't fail because its phones were low quality. And it didn't lose simply because Apple invented the iPhone. Nokia failed because it reacted too slowly to a changing world. It believed its past success guaranteed its future. While competitors were building software ecosystems, app stores, and touchscreen experiences, Nokia kept improving a business model that the world was already leaving behind. Technology doesn't reward the biggest company. It rewards the company that adapts the fastest. Ironically, Nokia never disappeared completely. Today, the company still exists, focusing on telecommunications, infrastructure, networking equipment, and 5G technology. It no longer dominates the smartphone market, but its name continues to play an important role in global communications. The story of Nokia isn't just about phones. It's a reminder that no company is too big to fail. No empire lasts forever. And in business, the moment you stop adapting, someone else starts taking your place. The end.